Good afternoon, everyone in Europe. Good morning, everyone in the US. I'm delighted to be here today with someone I've been working with for the last 2 years and deeply admire, Eric Demuth, co-CEO and founder of Bitpanda. Eric, great to see you today.
Oh, so many nice words. I feel very, very bad that I canceled our dinner 2 days ago now.
Eric, you have seen quite a journey with Bitpanda. Started in 2014 in Austria, a simple desktop app to help consumers to buy and sell crypto in a very convenient way. Today, fast forward in 2021, Bitpanda is having more than 3 million users across Europe and globally. As neobanker offering to trade stocks, currencies, ETFs, crypto, everything 24/7 and on a fractional basis, while also offering the service now to banks and fintechs. Last been valued at more than 4 billion, so quite a journey. And we at Speedinvest obviously, as first institutional backer, are obviously a huge fan. And one thing that really stood out in the first meetings we had was the level of ambition and of you and Paul, your co-founder and co-CEO. All founders that we back are obviously ambitious, but here even you and Paul stood out even at that level. And the aspects were really the European and global aspiration you always had, the pace of rolling out new products we never believed in at the beginning, and also the obsession on product quality, as well on the laser focus on being compliant, on a regulatory compliant from day one. On the other side, we see other crypto exchanges and brokerages that failed over the last years. So really the question to you, what's the secret source of Bitpanda's success?
I forgot half of your questions now. So the ambition level is, so first of all, we are focusing on the market. We're focusing completely on Europe. So that's one thing. And we went a completely different route when it comes to where we're actually coming from is crypto, right? So we're now moving into more spaces like stocks and so on, especially in the next year. That will be a much bigger topic for us. But we came from crypto and we went a different route. We went the really official route, talking to all regulators, going for the licenses, do everything completely clean, not trying to avoid regulation, not trying to do gray stuff. That is, so actually we could be faster with products and so on. But if you combine these two things, like speed, new products, and doing everything properly, bringing this stuff into the old financial world with all the licenses, you can't be light speed fast. So sometimes you're a little bit on the brakes to bring these two things under the hood at the same time. But nonetheless, I think we're doing quite well. So your question was, for example, in Europe, there were some companies that had a similar business model that are not existent anymore. Simply because they never really got the official route. They never really got the licenses and so on. Now regulation is coming. So some players in the world, they try to avoid regulation in terms of they don't care. They don't give a shit. They just do illegal stuff. And the regulators are still, I would say, a bit passive on that regard. But I think the bigger it gets, regulatory wise, the more it is absolutely necessary. Well, let's say, or our strategy will pay off. Let's say.
Got it. No, makes sense. Like regulation is key. But one question I have to ask you: I'm a big believer in crypto, as you may know, but many our listeners maybe not. So let me ask you just a provocative question that always comes up and that you have answered in the past many times, I believe. So is this? And we saw Bitcoin now, Bitcoin peaking over the last 2 weeks. Are we at the peak? Is this just a bubble? Where we are heading? Is this just the beginning or is this the end? Will fiat currencies still exist? What is your take here? I mean, obviously you're very advanced already with Bitpanda, but are we there? Are we already there?
Yes. No, but I mean, like, I get this question every year. Every year,
Know,
it doesn't matter what the price is at Bitcoin. Now there's a new all-time high, or like in this region. Last night it crashed again a little bit. I've seen this 100 times, and every time I get the same question. And when Bitcoin reaches 80,000 or 100,000, I will get the same question again. And when it drops down to 40,000, I will say, like, is it over now? Is it going to zero? So that's part of the nature, and this is because it is a very, very volatile asset class. This is something that has never been seen before, especially not for the retail market. Therefore, and it gets a lot of attention. Therefore, and of course, media always have to talk about these things and speculate what's going on, but in the end, when things like this occur, nobody knows the answer why it occurs. You know, like, this is how the market works. Of course, you will see the next day, for example. Probably, I haven't looked at this. I'm not doing this for years anymore. If I go now on any different news site or crypto site, I probably see 5 different explanations why the Bitcoin price dropped last night. Most probably none of them is correct. So therefore, it doesn't really matter. It's a long-term investment. It is an asset class that will never go away anymore. It is currently getting established, like stocks and so on. It's a new asset class. It's a new world we're entering, and the more money gets in, the more let's say mature the whole industry gets, the less volatile it gets, and also you can also see that the market is, how you say, there are less players. You know, like, it's getting regulated. There are bigger players in the market. It's getting safer for the investors. And therefore, it's the whole industry is growing up.
Got it. Now you remain bullish. So, like, you don't share any trading.
Consolidating. The market is consolidating. This is the word I was looking for.
And so I guess I don't get any trading advice. So you might impact the Bitcoin price.
No, because first of all, I don't think it is a good thing to. It doesn't matter if it's stocks or if it's crypto or whatever it is, to listen to somebody else. First of all, we don't probably have the same psychology when it comes to investing. Maybe I'm more risk averse. Maybe you are more risk averse. Maybe I want to, you have more money to invest, or I have more money to invest. Like, it's a very individual thing, and this is something, unfortunately, we don't learn at school, financial literacy. So this is also something we want to do, and educate people about money, about investing, also about long-term strategy. You have to find your own strategy, and if it's like 80% of the money you invest long-term, and 20% you want to try things out and make more short-term bets, that's completely fine. But this is something you have to find out. Nobody else can tell you. But I can just say, I think if you talk about crypto, let's say, for example, Bitcoin, Ethereum are probably a very good investment on the long run. But
okay,
yeah.
Okay. We are today at the marketplace conference. Hence, let me ask you some questions around this topic and how Bitpanda is operating at such a marketplace. Because cryptocurrencies run on a decentralized blockchain to remove the friction from intermediaries. It's also called, the buzzword is currently DeFi, decentralized finance. So why do you bring Bitpanda back as a centralized party, as a marketplace, back into the equation?
Have you tried investing without these?
It's burdensome.
It's very burdensome.
Yeah.
Of course, there's now not for long. For let's say a short amount of time, when you see it on the whole history of Bitcoin and so on, there is now DeFi and so on. But this is something that will always be very, very hard for the mainstream users. And we're all focusing on the retail, on the mainstream users. And therefore, it needs to be, initially we founded the company not to build a platform. Initially, we just wanted to have a web shop for Bitcoin. It was these days, it was that long ago. And then we said it has to be as easy as buying things online on a web shop. Put your credit card in or use your bank account, and so you can't do anything wrong. That's the philosophy. And you need to have also you need to interact with payment companies like your credit card companies, with your banks and so on. So we're the bridge between the old and the new financial system, and therefore it is mandatory for, let's say, more than 90% of the population to have companies like us.
Mm. Another peculiarity, and a bit like Coinbase, you run a brokerage, where you essentially act as a counterparty, and then you have also an exchange called Bitpanda Pro. What's in parallel, basically? Why? So, I mean, from a marketplace perspective, maybe interesting why you have running two models.
Yeah. So Pro is something we're gonna not really redo, but we will make a lot of changes there. Right now, we're just passively having it. And now we also hired a CEO for this and a great team. So in the next year, you will see some great initiatives around Pro. So there we are focusing on the institutional customer, on the customer that is not using a broker service, that is not wanted to have it like 2 clicks on your app, but is more, people that are used to trade, they know how to look into order books, need different options for limit orders, stop loss orders, or whatever. So it's like a real exchange in the classical way. That is not meant for the mainstream customer, I would say. It's not very convenient. And if you're not an expert, you know what you do. You can do things, you can mess things up, let's say it like this. So I would say pretty much also right now, you can use both as one account, but I would say no more than 95% or something of our volume, of our revenue is done by our broker service. So we're retail focused only right now, but that will change. But in fact, you have two different target audience. One is the professional investor and the institutional investor. So it's like a few, but like huge volumes, a lot of trades. And on the other hand, you have the mass, and they are doing retail investment from time to time on their app or on the laptop.
Got it. So it's a customer segmentation, basically.
Yes.
You're addressing this. Got it. This year's thematic focus is called embedded finance, and I mean, which is a hot topic in fintech and as well also in marketplaces. Maybe some background from my side. I mean, the last 20 years, I guess, there was a main idea in fintech that an analog sector would eventually become digital, and the transition to digital has and will reduce friction, transactional costs to buy and use financial services. And perhaps a few years back, the next leg of the journey became more obvious. Once financial services were digital, there's no need for them to exist as these discrete products anymore. They could become embedded in software that consumers and businesses are using anyway and every day. And it maybe takes some imagination where this could lead to. Currently, most prominently, I guess it's the buy now, pay later hype, where the lending is embedded into the online purchases. And I guess, I mean, at least from my observation, on the investing side, we are just at the very beginning of embedded finance. So what's your take? What's your strategy of embedding other financial service providers into your offering? And what's the thought process? Is this a buy versus build versus partnership decision?
That really depends on the individual case. So in general, we have the philosophy to build everything ourselves. That sometimes is a bit slower, of course, but we were always playing the long-term game. So the whole company was also bootstrapped until 2 years ago or something. Yeah, 2 years ago. No, 1.5 years ago, actually. So it's pretty much all the time bootstrap. And we have a very sustainable growth plan. Now we are, pushing a bit harder, also with recent funding rounds and so on. But our whole strategy here is own the licenses ourselves, build everything ourselves. And this is why we're now going into the white label solution, where we are offering all of our services, pretty much everything we offer our customers. We're now offering as a B2B2C model to banks, to fintechs, because it's pretty much impossible to build a proper blockchain or crypto service yourself right now. For everybody in the world, it's not possible anymore. Or you would just have a light version, and you just pretty much as a customer speculate on a few coins on the price, but you will never have the full functionality like real crypto companies. But there's huge demand. So therefore, as we own everything ourselves and also the licenses, we can now leverage that and provide it to other companies. And regarding future projects, it really depends. It really depends on the company. It depends on the service, on the product. So we're also looking into many different models. I can't really tell you. It's really like there's not a universal answer for this. So
yeah, and I mean, to echo this, yeah, I mean, I know that you like started 2-3 years or even long ago with doing everything internally, infrastructure, tech infrastructure, getting the licenses well ahead of I was not aware of Robinhood and there was not the trading hype, and you already worked on this. So is this kind of an ideologic thing? So you say you want to do everything in-house and you don't want to outsource?
No, not at all. But you need to have the core functionalities. For example, like we are like a fintech, like an investing company, so we have to own the license ourselves, and we have to tech ourselves. If there are some other services that can support our current services, and that are not, let's say, main activities or main functionalities like trading, like blockchain functionalities, this is something where we can talk about this. But the other things you want to own yourself. It's first of all, it's a risk topic, and it's also a topic of how flexible are you, how fast can you adopt your strategy. If somebody else is providing you a crucial, like a significant, important service for you, and you're not in charge and you're not in control, then you are jeopardizing your whole strategy and your whole roadmap. So
yeah. I mean, we're already at the future of investing. It feels so. We're discussing this already, and very recently there was a new hype about social finance, and now new generations speak about their money and capital and how they invest on Reddit, Discord, etc. And is it something you see also, that you would integrate those social activities into Bitpanda to kind of increase engagement and kind of a competitive mode? Or
but you don't have to. Like, for example, you can't just decide and say, we want to build something like Reddit into our platform. That is not something you can just say. Reddit has, for example, these communities, these websites have their own history. They have their own style. They have their own independency. They have their own, let's say, I don't know, culture. You can't just artificially create it or buy it.
Mm-hmm.
So if you try this, it will not work out, and people will not come when this is like in a company or environment. It has to be for them more independent. Of course, you can have, let's say, more community aspect to your services, and I think we're starting with this with our academy, where we educate people, and from there you can lead it to other things. But when you talk about Reddit, for example, this is a completely different topic, and a company will not achieve such a dynamic.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But speaking about the kind of the end goal of how you see it, because for me the ultimate goal would be kind of meaning like autonomous finance, where an autopilot is steering trading and investment decisions really based on full financial information, be it that platforms have access via open banking to my history, or you have the algorithm has access to when and how I will need the capital to pay off my mortgages, etc. So do you think that does mainstream investor want to be actively involved into investment decisions, and how you think about this? Will it always be like decisions by the user that you want to facilitate?
think it's like half and half. So we started, for example, also with our savings plan or with our crypto index that is working very, very well. So you can pretty much just invest in the top 5, top 10, top 25 coins, and it automatically gets rebalanced. So it's like a strategy you follow. It's not in your hand, but if I put my money in there, I get I get how do you say that? You know what I mean? Like damn it, the English word is missing. That you just get a spot, or let's say a traction of these coins. You have it in your portfolio. And on the other hand, you have always the urge, or most people always have the urge, to do things individually. And there's a lot of emotional investing included as well, and it's completely fine. So I don't think this is the ultimate goal in an absolute way. I actually think it is one part of investing, and the other part is where you do your individual decision. So that's completely fine. I think you have to offer both things, and both things are for most people completely legit and needed. So I also have, because I don't have the time to follow all these coins anymore. It's just insanely time consuming, and my job is, let's say, not the most time-saving job in the world. So therefore, I still don't want to miss out on the newest coins and stuff. So I put quite some money into our index. So I know I get traction from all the different altcoins I cannot follow myself, and the rest I do individually. I do on my own, especially stocks investing.
Yeah. You already gave a glimpse about where you see Bitpanda. I mean, can you give a bit more outlook? What's in the roadmap of Bitpanda? You said, like, obviously embedding this at other financial institutions. Now you have the crypto.
Yeah. So the B2B part is actually quite something we're going in. Let's say it will be quite a big part, I think, also in the next year. So we're entering B2B, and on the other hand, for our brand, so we will also start building our brand a bit more. And so we want to become, especially for Europe, the investment platform for everybody. That means if you want to go into crypto, I mean, of course, we're expert in crypto. We have everything built on our own. You can do everything crypto related with us. And now, and this is something we've been working on for 2.5 years and got the licenses. We're going into bringing all the fun part, all the positive things, all the advantages from crypto into the old world, into stocks, and digitize it and make it accessible for everybody with fractional, with 24/7 trading. So these are two big exciting things where we also like to increase the let's say rate of people, retail investors in Europe.
Yeah. So far we haven't received any questions, so I can just
maybe there are no viewers.
We have some, but I just want to encourage people to ask questions. We have some, but there's about scaling and expanding, I guess. Or how should I mean, what's your learning from your last?
Maybe this is a setup. It's just because I canceled our dinner, and this is actually the questions you wanted to ask me for dinner, and now you want to put it in the setup. Maybe that's the thing. And
I will ask you some really tough questions. Yeah.
Okay.
No, honestly. What were your learnings from the last 5 years running a marketplace? Is this kind of? Do you have any learnings you can share for also founders that are a bit more early in the journey of setting up a company?
Oh yeah, it's I'm always ranting about wasting time. So a huge time waster are conferences. Sorry. It's like I've seen so many people that spend so much time on conferences. When you travel somewhere, it's like at least 1 or 2 days are completely gone, completely lost. Just focus on the product, build it. Yeah. Fuck the whole marketing thing. First of all, just go build a proper product and then go out. And then later you can go big with all your marketing and PR and so on. But first of all, don't waste any time. Try to get your product out as fast as possible. Get feedback, and then try to improve it. But don't waste too much time on networking.
Okay, cool. We have 5 more questions. Maybe let me ask at least one more. How do you hold the company together also in these times of remote work? Is culture important in crypto?
Yeah. Culture is not culture is important everywhere, especially in growth companies. So I see a challenge, and I actually talk to a lot of our investors and to other founders, and especially when you're in a growth company, we decided not to go fully remote now after, or let's say post-COVID, because when you're a growth company, your team changes constantly. You're getting new people on board constantly, and you run into the danger of getting a mercenary camp then. So this is why we open now 10 different offices in Europe, and in Vienna we've built a new headquarters. So we're opening our headquarters, like 8,000 square meters, like quite big. And because we wanted to have a hub, people should know each other, should connect with each other. There should be a good environment. There, of course, you're flexible. You are in the office, let's say 2 or 3 days or something a week, with your colleagues and have meetings. And on the other hand, we also have a hybrid model where we can say 60 days or so over the year, you can work from everywhere around the world. If you're in South Africa and you can work there properly, it's fine, So we also give flexibility, and I think the hybrid. The hybrid will be, let's say, more the future of it. I'm not a black and white guy in terms of it's neither this or that. I think it's something in the middle where you can just find the best solution for yourself.
Yeah. Questions seem to be circled about HR. Is there a specific trait you look into? You look in new hires.
A what? Excuse me?
Specific traits, like strengths, CVs, background, habit. I don't know.
Yeah, of course. I mean, so we get a lot of applications every day, like a lot. It's very, very hard to handle, but very, very few of them come through and in the end get an offer. But on the other hand, we have like 350, 400 open positions right now. We really ask for quite a lot of skills, a lot of experience, especially when you come from growth companies and you've already seen it, then this is helping a lot. But it doesn't mean that you just need to be perfect on paper. You just have to be also a cultural fit. Otherwise, one person can just corrupt the whole team, and then everybody is suffering. So honestly, and to say it in very clear words, we also look at don't hire assholes. So this is also a very, very important skill, not to be an asshole, not to be in just how to say, like, egoistic, so you have to be a team player, and you have to be smart and have a lot of drive.
Yeah, makes sense. So I think we have 2 more minutes. And another question: what is your view on digital currencies on which governments are working on versus non-public crypto, and how do you see consumer adoption there?
That's completely fine. What they're doing, and it's actually quite. I mean, there's actually something that will eventually come. It will just take much, much longer than anything else we will see for private companies, especially for crypto or fintech, which acts very fast. The whole industry is very, very fast. But it will coexist, with crypto. It's not something that will compete with each other. It's actually like fiat right now. You also have fiat, you have crypto. What it does is it just makes fiat digital, and therefore it will have more advantages. Everything will be faster, it will be more transparent, and so it will have a lot of advantages, but it will be an upgrade to fiat, and it will not be a competitor to crypto.
Got it. Eric, thanks very much for taking the time and joining us here at the Marketplace Conference.
Thank you.
Hopefully, I'm looking forward to the invite to our next dinner.
Yes.
Hopefully,
it's on me then.
It's on you. Yeah. Looking forward to this. And thanks again. Always great to speak.
Yeah. Likewise.
Thanks so much.
Have a great day.
Thank you. Bye.
Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.